initial was very smooth, a little abrupt at the very end. So I'd say just work on that last 5%. What you'll have to do is you'll have to get most of your braking done about 10 feet back there and use that last 8 or 10 feet for that final release.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say cover the brakes even from a stop. So if you just keep those fingers laid right on top. At least 2, 1, 2, or 3.
Too early.
Brakes are working really well. So you can either build more speed again or start the whole process later.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the speed killed way back there, and then you're bored coming up to here.
Yeah, I'm trying to judge distance between like that little gravel pit or which trash can.
Right, I know, it's tough.
Yeah.
This is not the cleanest run here.
But yeah, I had lots of extra time on that one.
Yeah. So options there are start that all later or build more speed.
Gotcha.
And then with this, keep at least 2 fingers wrapped around the throttle body. Either put 1, 2, or 3 fingers up in any configuration. But you want to have at least 2 fingers for the throttle body. You don't want to,
Okay. This is usually empty.
Yeah, so I use these 2 for the brakes and then this for the throttle body. Kyle Wyman rides like that, where he's using,
on the inside.
He's using the inside for the throttle body, and then the outer 3 fingers for the brakes. But you gotta choose one of those for the throttle body.
Gotcha. Cool. It's funny with the rear, like you just want to start way
back there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. If you don't have braking ability, you gotta have braking distance. You gotta start sooner.
Again, it's usable, but it's just
not
by
optimal.
itself, you can't.
No.
Now on loose gravel, or like if you run off the track, that's what you want to use, right?
You can use both. You just gotta, your 100 points is still here. Your lean angle might be this in grass. Your brake pressure might be that 100 points in grass. I've ran off and I still use the front brake.
Really?
But the way you go to it, it's got to be like you're on grass. Right? You know, it's got to be smooth, and you can only apply like a point. But yeah, you can still use it. It's still there, but you have to be super smooth.
Yeah. Good. Oh, I felt ABS a little bit.
Yeah, I can see it. So that applies to the first 5%, getting the bike to kind of start doing that, and then also applies to the rear brake. Because if not, once your weight transfer, that's the word I'm looking for. Once your weight transfer to the front, the rear end's going to get light. And if you keep applying pressure, it's going to get light to the point where it skids, or it's going to just leave the ground. Right, so if you feel that, if you're entering ABS, if you start to feel it pulse, don't release it, but don't press anymore.
Just stay at that.
Just stay there. If you can, you felt the ABS.
Yeah, I felt it on my fingertips.
Yeah. So if you feel that, don't keep pressing, but don't release it either.
Okay. You know, catch itself up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
So the reason I backed up is because I wanted you to give up the brakes and let the bike roll.
Oh.
Right? Because in a real situation, we're mimicking, you go into a turn too slow, or you go into a turn too slow, you're like, oh, let me get off the brakes and give it a little bit of throttle, or let me go lighter and longer. I'll apply pressure, but not so much pressure that I stop. Okay?
Interesting.
It might be to get around some sand or go through some sand. You want to bring the bike up. You want to turn, you see some sand, you bring the bike up, you go to the brakes, it's slow, but you don't want to stop in the sand. Right? So that's kind of thing, that's what we're talking about, modulating the brake. Going to the brakes, giving some up, getting it back. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cool. I misclicked gears.
Okay, good. All right. Now, what happened if I started moving towards you?
Oh, I have to add more points.
There you go. There we go. All right, go ahead and back in line. Do you think you can accelerate from this turn at this point?
No.
Why not?
Well, I feel like I'm heading right where that, you see where the
curbing ends?
Yeah.
Perhaps? Okay.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the next turn. I guess I could actually.
Yeah, you actually could.
Yeah.
You actually
Because
could.
I'm pointed decently.
Yeah, so that tells you, so it may not be on the curbing, but that's okay. You're still, and it may have taken you a little bit longer. You might have had to have stayed with maintenance throttle a little bit longer, but you can see your exit. You can take a lane angle, and at that point you can accelerate. And this works. Yeah, this works for. You may not be able to
jam it.
right full throttle because that'll put you out that way, but
Oh, yeah.
you can begin the acceleration. Okay, good. All right. Awesome. Quick question for you. When can I accelerate?
As soon as I see where I want to go.
Okay, see your exit and do what? Yeah, there's two.
Speed and direction.
Okay, so when I can take away lean angle, or when I can see my exit and take away lean angle, then can I accelerate? Because when I can do those two things, I have direction.
Okay.
Okay, make sense? All right,
Cool. Take away speed and lean angle.
Yes. So when I can accelerate, the answer is I can accelerate when I can take away lean angle because I see my exit.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Let's head to the staging area.
You got it.
Noticing that you're not using brakes right here. We want you to use brakes. So if you don't think you're going fast enough to use brakes, bring your speed up because you have a plan to use brakes. When you use the brakes, it's more controllable. You're keeping the bike suspension front end compressed. If you just roll off, that's not controllable. If you can keep it compressed, right, you control it out with the brakes. Right? So if you don't think you're going fast enough to use the brakes, then use more brakes. So accelerate with a plan to use the brakes. We're gonna do this not much longer.
okay.
Probably a couple of
Let me try
minutes.
to get, yeah,
if
so
that.
on this end section, huh?
What's that?
You're seeing on this last part.
Well, I noticed it here, but you might be doing it. You might be just rolling off everywhere else.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Sounds good, let's do it.